Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tip of the Ice-Burgh podcast, your home for Pittsburgh Penguins news and analysis. You can find us on YouTube at Tip of the Ice-Burgh, or you can catch us anywhere you get your podcast from. We have a trade to announce on this Monday afternoon, a busy Monday afternoon for the Pittsburgh Penguins as they acquire Philip Tomasino of the Nashville Predators in exchange for a 2027 fourth round pick. Of course, this is the second trade in the month of November for the Penguins. One, trading away a bona fide veteran in Lars Eller, and now bringing in a 23-year-old winger in Philip Tomasino. Let's get into what Tomasino brings and what he is before we take a quick look at what this might say about how Kyle Dubas currently views his NHL squad. Tomasino, like I mentioned earlier, is a 23-year-old that has spent the majority of his NHL playing career on the right wing. He signed a one-year, $825,000 deal before this season began, but he's been struggling to stay in the Nashville Predators lineup. And if you go beyond just this season, he struggled to stay at the NHL level for the Nashville Predators, bouncing back and forth the last 2 years between Nashville and the Milwaukee Admirals of the American Hockey League. So if you look at this year alone, he's only played in 11 games, has one assist in those 11 games, and has finished with around 11 minutes of ice time per game with the Predators. So essentially, what you're getting here is a change of scenery trade for the Penguins, hoping that they take a bet on a young guy, 23 years old, and he just finds his footing with the Penguins. This is nothing new for the Penguins this season. They did that a couple of times during this summer, including bringing over a guy like Cody Glass from the Nashville Predators, who had a much higher cap hit, but needed a change of scenery and needed a fresh start. He got that in Pittsburgh. He's looked pretty good when healthy in Pittsburgh, but as of right now, he is still on the shelf dealing with a concussion. Tomasino, kind of on the same lines. He's 23 years old. He has a lot of talent, but he's right now a bottom six guy that is struggling to stay in lineups at the National Hockey League level. The Pens, meanwhile, they're searching for answers on that bottom six. Earlier this afternoon, they sent Sam Poulin back to the American Hockey League after really one performance where he did not look like he was quite at the same pace as everybody else on the ice. And that's been the one bugaboo about Sam Poulin is, can he keep up with the NHL game? And for the most part, during this first stint, in those first 5 games, I'll say, it looked like he had. Now, was he blowing everybody away? No. But he had been performing pretty well, and his line specifically had been performing pretty well, and that's the pop line that we talked about last week with Puljujarvi and Drew O'Connor. But he struggled on Saturday, as did most of the team. But Poulin, during that game, was demoted down to the 4th line, finished with the team low in ice time, and now is being sent back to the American Hockey League, presumably to be replaced by Philip Tomasino. So they're hoping to hit with another forward in his early 20s. That's just a reclamation project for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And it's interesting because a couple weeks ago, they trade away Lars Eller, and that could be thought of as Kyle Dubas waving the white flag on the season, the beginning of the end, the beginning of selling off the farm with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Well, they didn't respond. They struggled more and more and more. And then last weekend, they lose 4-1 on Friday to the Winnipeg Jets. Okay, it's the best team in hockey. That happens. But then they lose 6-1 on home ice to a Utah hockey club that had been struggling, losers of 3 straight. And they just embarrass you. They just embarrass you. As a response, the Penguins trying to take a bet, trying to hope that they can hit on this gamble with a 23-year-old. Tells me that Kyle Dubas is just searching for anything to work at the NHL level, because right now they appear to be one of the worst teams in the National Hockey League. We'll see if Tomasino comes in and helps elevate at least a line on the bottom 6, because as of right now, it seems like nothing's been working, but we'll see what they can do with this. So Philip Tomasino coming to the Pittsburgh Penguins by way of the Nashville Predators in exchange for a 2027 4th round pick. We'll see if it pays off. If it doesn't, we'll obviously have plenty more to discuss if that ends up being the case. But that's going to do it for this breaking news edition of the Tip of the Ice-Burgh. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this one. Remember to like, share, subscribe. to this video on YouTube, or you can catch us anywhere you get your podcasts from. We'll see you guys next time.